What's up, everybody? If you can hear me and I'm actually live, it's been a difficult time. I'm leaving the other video up because I just did a 25-minute video that apparently was dead silent because I don't fucking understand audio. That's just me being real. If you know audio, you want to work for free because that's all I got to offer you. I can offer you some Manscaped shit if that helps you. They have the Manscaped 3.0 perfect package. They're not sponsoring this direct thing. They sponsor our podcast, and I could potentially get you a free razor. But other than that, I can't get you shit. But if you want to work for free and somehow figure out how to get this thing up with the audio, I would gladly let you work for me. But me personally, I don't know production. I don't know audio. I don't know video. You've seen our podcast. My video is almost pitch black half the time. I don't understand how audio and video works. I'm the talent, okay? I'm the talent. I'm the good-looking dude that just shows up and talks random shit about sports. That's what I am. So I'm going to start it off by saying if you want to be part of production or you know someone that wants to be part of production for free, gladly send them my way. It's noscrubsports@gmail.com. Or you can head over to our website. It's noscrubsallowed.com or noscrubsallowed.com on Facebook or facebook.com/noscrubsallowed. Or you can go to our Twitter, noscrubsports. You can do all that. We're here. We want you. We want you to help us because if you go look at the video prior to this one, it's 25 minutes of me silently fucking miming my way through a shitty ass LAFC game. That's what it is. All right. And I'm not going to sit here and talk for 25 more minutes. So if you truly enjoy this podcast, then sorry, fuck you guys. Double thumbs or whatever. These are fingers. I'm not going to do it again. If you truly love LAFC, then you'll fucking sign up to be a producer because you'll help me. Because as you can see from my previous post, I don't fucking understand audio. I don't fucking understand video. So you can come on, you can help me, you can do your thing. So hey, if it gets me a new employee that really helps me out, then I'll take it. But anyways, 3 minutes aside, that's all I set aside for me to just be a morning little bitch. So because no scrubs allowed is also inclusive of no bitches allowed. So 3 minutes aside, LAFC sucked. Man, we played San Jose. It was a tough game. I came out to you guys after Vancouver and I said, looks like we might be a better team. Atuesta's here. We're here, our savior. I called Atuesta our true MVP and I said, he's here. He's ready to do his thing. Yeah, it didn't work out. It just didn't. He looked good. Atuesta, I love you. If you're watching this, I know you're not watching this because if you're one of the 2 people that watches our YouTube channel, then thank you, Atuesta, but I doubt that you are. It's probably my mom and Sill's mom, and he's not even on the shit. So anyways, if you are Atuesta, you are fine, okay? But the issue with Atuesta, if I'm going to start here, he's a defensive player, right? And I've said, and I'm not complaining in the slightest, I've said since day one, since MLS's back tournament, day one, we needed defense. We needed Atuesta. We needed him to come back and be a defender that will help us. He's a central defensive midfield. He does his thing to really start the branch out. And I said after Vancouver, as soon as we lose the ball, because of Atuesta, we're able to flip it immediately and try to take the ball right back because we don't have to worry about the people behind us because he's the captain of all that and he takes care of all that. He did that for 80 minutes. We scored in the 40th something like that, 45th minute, right before halftime. I know, look at me, looking over at the, man, fuck it. I'm not new. Or I am new, I guess, technically. But anyways, he did his thing. He was there. He had us under control. We came out in the second half. He continued to have it under control. We were fine. And hey, Mark Anthony Kaye was even good. I can't even talk a lot of shit on him. You guys know me. He's my least favorite starter that we have on this team. He was fine. Everything was fine. Everything was flowing the way that LAFC needed it to flow until it wasn't. And that's just, I know that's fucking bright. It's brilliant, huh? It was flowing well until it wasn't. But Wondolowski came off. And that's when you think, well, San Jose's done. They're out of it. It's game over. Somehow they weren't, because we do not communicate on defense. Now, I said I'm not going to go into the same spiel that I had. I don't take notes. I do this off the dome. So none of this is exactly the same as it was last time. I'm not about to spend 25 minutes. If you want to sit and watch a 25-minute muted video of me doing hand motions, by all means. Like I said, I'm leaving it on there. But here, that's not what's going to happen. What I'm telling you is that we are not the same team that we were last year. We're not even close. Walker Zimmerman was a real player for us. He was our guy. And I know we started other people. We started Harvey. We still had Palacios, not Palacios, Segura for the most part, and then Blackman, who's injured right now. But it's a completely different defense at this point. We do not have a captain. And we need, with all this money that we've saved from Silva and Dio and Zimmerman from last year, that we made a lot of money coming in on him, and Tyler Miller, where we saved a lot of money to keep Cisniega. And I know we went and got Vermeer. He's not worth it. He's a bench guy now. We need to go find, and hold on, let me rewind, because you guys might think I'm talking shit. I'm happy with Cisniega. I was okay with Vermeer, but Vermeer's play style does not suit our current defense. Our current defense does not suit well for a keeper that pushes so far forward that he expects to have talented defenders. Doesn't work. Sorry, Kenneth Vermeer, you're on the bench now, because that's just not your style. I know after this season he's gone. All right, that's fine. Whatever. I like Cisniega. I like what he does. I like the way he stands. He's big. He saved us a few goals. We probably should have lost 4-1 tonight, right? But he was there. He saved us. But all that aside, I'm not talking about the keepers, and you guys know that our defense is bad. But all I'm saying is our defense needs to sign someone. Yes, we need Vela back. Yes, we need Atuesta and Vela to communicate together, to be the two captains, to hit the forward and the center midfield back. What up, Jeff? You're a Sounders fan. Didn't you guys lose tonight too? I don't know if you guys played tonight, but you guys might have lost last game. But you guys beat us. Hey, I'm not trying to talk trash, because, and really to talk about you guys, the Sounders exposed LAFC to what we're at a problem with. Oh, good on you, Jeff. You're typing in. I see that you beat the Galaxy. I'm totally fine with that, because Carson can go suck it. But I'm disappointed because I recorded a full 30-minute pod earlier, and I'm not going to repeat myself time and time again. But the long story short is that starting from you guys, when you guys beat us 3-0 about almost a month ago at this point, you exposed openings that LAFC has. And if we cannot clean up those openings, Blackman is huge off on the right side. We need him. We need somebody, because Latif Blessing is a midfielder. So when he is pushing up too high, strategically, not too high. Too high is the wrong word. When he's pushing up high strategically, we don't have the guy that can cover his back. But our defense is just suspect, man. And Pablo Cisniega, our keeper, is fine. I love him. He does his thing. Our offense with the three guys, and I'm not a big Brian Rodriguez fan. I'm fine with selling him to Italy. He's going to be worth a lot of money, and presumably our front office will actually spend a lot of money. I don't know. They haven't proven that they'll spend money. But when he comes in, whoever we decide to spend, we have offense. If we completely just sell Brian Rodriguez and don't get another attacker, we're still fine. Because we have Diego Rodriguez, Bradley Wright Phillips, and even to sub Bradley Wright Phillips with Musovski, we have good players. And then Vela, because Vela is going to come in from injury at some point. He won't be injured forever. So our strikers are straight. Our midfielders are also okay. K, who, if you've listened to the podcast for a long enough time, I'm not a big K fan. But K can factor as a lower tier MLS player. Sorry, K. I've talked to you personally. I love you as a person. I've been able to interview you, and I get that you're a great person, and what you've done with the MLS players for Black Lives, I'm fully for that. As a player on the field, you're not my favorite guy. Atuesta has your back, though. He's there. He understands what's going on, and that makes me happy. And then either player, which I'd love to get Latif up to the striker position, and then Cifuentes, who right now is covering everyone, but he's able to cover either side, depending on what K and Atuesta to do. It's our defense that's the problem, and it's our defense that's going to be the problem. And I know that we need to fix the defense. And I think it's personally a front office position. I see your question, Jeff, and I'll address in a second. I think it is a front office position, which I think partially addresses your question. Bob Bradley can only deal with what he has in front of him. And when Blackman goes down injured, right? So at this point, Blackman's down injured. We have Silva retired. So we have Djokovic, who is way too old and slow for his own good. Segura, who is kind of our man. He's kind of our star. We have Palacios, who is good. And we have El Munir, who really is our only defensive backup, at least in my opinion, that's able to step up to a first-team standard. So now I'll address your question, Jeff. It says, at what point does it become Bob Bradley's fault for not adjusting or correcting, considering the continuous losing? And it's not the continuous losing that I think is Bob Bradley's issue. Even losing happens, right? Losing happens in all sports. Only one team can win. Luckily, in football and soccer, you have a team that could draw potentially, but one team can win and one team can lose. And losing, just from the black and white grand scheme of things, I don't think is Bob Bradley's fault. What I do think is potentially Bob Bradley's fault is that our defense continues to get hit time and time and time and time and time again. And there's every game. If you sit here, I will be here every game, Jeff, if you want to come back. After every LAFC game, I will come in for this LAFC post show. And we have, 9-10 more games in the regular season? If you want to put odds on the amount of times that I'm going to come back here and say that our defense didn't communicate, I'd put the odds on minus 500 that I'm going to say that at least 80% of the time, because our defense does not communicate. And that is a Bob Bradley problem. Now, our talent is not a Bob Bradley problem. That is something that I cannot fault him for. He is going to put the best foot forward. And I think the best foot forward, at least with Blackman out, is Segura, Djokovic, Palacios, and at least from what we've seen so far, Blessing on the right-hand side. I personally have said on the podcast, if you go to noscrubsallowed.com, we make a post every Monday morning. I personally think that El Munir or Palacios, whichever is better, using the sideline to his right side, would be served as a starter on the right side until Blackman comes back, because El Munir, who has been Palacios' backup, has proven worthy of a starting position. So those four guys being Segura, Jakovic, Palacios, and El Munir, have been proven of a starting position. I think Blessing needs to push forward to the midfield. And the personnel issue is not Bradley's fault. And I'm going to say that as a fan that's very unhappy that we're losing games, very, very unhappy, strictly unhappy that we're losing to San Jose Earthquakes, a team that I don't even think we've lost to at this point, and a team that we've scored at least 4 or more points on every single game in the last 3 years that we've played them. So that's the problem. But defensively, that's not scoring 4 or more points, right? Defensively, the personnel is not the problem, but the problem is, to answer your question, I know I was long-winded about your question, but to answer it, Bradley needs to understand that we do not have the personnel available to do what his current he does a 4-3-3 where he pushes up the outside backs up into the offensive every time, literally just every time. He needs to understand we don't have that opportunity. If he wants to shift to 3 defenders but keep them as a full defensive way, that's fine. But Bob can't do that. Bob Bradley's only style that he knows is a 4-3-3 with 2 outside defenders pushing up. And it's going to be an issue. It's going to be an issue for a long time if you don't have the players that can do that. And we're just now seeing that we don't. And when you have the guys, I think Segura personally, just as an LAFC fan, I think Segura is able to do it. Jakovic is just not fast enough. He's not able to deal with the speed that comes on a counterattack when you only have 2 guys back. Segura is, but that's something where I'm with you, Jeff. I am very much with you that Bob needs to say, listen, my current style is not working. I need to figure out a different style because just like you said, you just sent in, if our guys are attacking, it's leaving our defense vulnerable. And I completely agree with that. And Bob, I don't know how long you've watched MLS or soccer in general, but Bradley's been around for a long time. He coached in Swansea City. He coached in Egypt, I believe. He coached in a lot of different places, and he brought bad teams, not counting Swansea City. Swansea City was a bad team that he coached to being a even worse team, and that's the reason he's not in the EPL right now. But anyways, he coached bad teams, and he pushed them forward to being good teams based on his style, and he's done it with the MLS. I believe he did it in Toronto, where he made it to an MLS Cup. I'm doing this off the top of my head, so I'm not sure if that's true. But he coached in an MLS team that made it. He understands coaching. He really does. And I don't want to throw him under the bus for a weird ass just COVID-19 season that's not fair to him to say like, hey, you guys sucked after winning the Supporter Shield. That's not fair. But he does need to do something else. And I believe that. And I think when Nahar comes back, it's going to be valuable to us. I think that when Blackman comes back, it's going to be extremely valuable. That's Blackman, who was our second pick overall. Of course, we first picked your boy that's in Orlando now. What's his name? João Moutinho, who is in Orlando now. But those guys were back to back, and they're dead similar. So the front office has done well with that sort of thing, but we have to get bigger and better players. Losing Zimmerman is huge. We lost, again, if you've stuck around long enough, we lost Saman to Egypt a long time ago. Now it feels like forever ago. And Zimmerman was able to pick up his slack. Now we've lost Zimmerman, who we gave away for literally nothing. And I was on the podcast saying that was a foolish move. Because regardless of who the coach is, you cannot replace a Team USA defender. And yeah, he wasn't a starting Team USA defender, but this guy was a call-up for Team USA. He's clearly one of the, let's say, 2 guys, 3 strings. He's one of the 6 best center defenders in the United States. Fair, if he's a call-up to the United States national team. So when you lose someone like that, it's tough. And Bradley, Coach Bradley, not Michael Bradley, he's a story for a different day. I think he's long gone in this league. But Coach Bradley, when you ask this man to continually fill your gaps, that's an issue. And this is where I'm going to leave you guys. But if the front office, Team A, the front office, and Team B, Coach Bob Bradley, they have to meet. They have to talk about what their problem is, because the Team A front office, they want that money. They want to sell Zimmerman for free money. Why not? Who cares? They want to sell Tyler Miller, free money. Who cares? They're fine with letting Silva walk. They're fine with letting Dio walk. They don't care. They're making money. Team B, Coach Bob Bradley, wants to win an MLS Cup. And he can't do that if he just keeps selling his people. Just keep selling his people left and right. He cannot do that. Nahar is good. We have not seen that. The story behind Nahar, at least, is good. That's all I can say at this point. We need, I'm saying this right now, after the San Jose game, I'll be back next week after the Real Salt Lake game. I really wish my other video wasn't muted. I think it was a good video, but I'm leaving it there just in case some crazy audio happens and it decides to start working. But I assume that I suck at production, but whatever, we need to sign a defender. And I hope that Bob Bradley is trying to meet with the front office to say, Djokovic, our center defender right now, he's too slow. He's too old. He's mentally strong. He's a great locker room presence, but he is not good enough to stand up to the star players. He cannot stand up to Kai Kamara. He cannot stand up to the 3-headed monster that is Seattle's strikers. He cannot stand up to the Columbus Crew strikers. He just cannot do it. We need somebody. And that's really all I can say at this point. It's tough. I'm following a loss, and it's hard to gather the thoughts, especially after a 30-minute podcast that I just did that was completely on mute. It's hard to bring about the same energy and the same thoughts. But I appreciate you, Jeff, for showing up and giving me some talking points. But tune in next week for Real Salt Lake. The No Scrubs Allowed podcast will be out on Tuesday morning, as always. Hopefully, Real Salt Lake's not a great team. They've won a lot of games, but they're okay team. We should be able to beat them. I say that with the hope of I will be back next Sunday. And if I'm back after a loss, I'll be disappointed just as well as every other game because I understand the talent that LAFC has. And if they lose any game, even to your Seattle Sounders, who are the defending MLS Cup champs, and their three-headed monster is as good as anyone. I just said it. I'm frustrated. I don't even want to bring it up, but Jordan Morris, your guys, think badly of me if you want, but I don't want to look up your boys and Ladero and Rui Diaz, whoever it is, man. Our team is just as talented as any of those guys. And it's something that I don't want to think about ever. Because when you lose a game, it's frustrating. When you lose a game against a team you should beat 10 times out of 10, it's all the more frustrating. So I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to bore you any more than what I'm already doing. But I'll be back next Sunday. I'll be back hopefully with a win. So thank you for tuning in to the Just Off the Post LAFC show. And we'll be in the playoffs. I'm not worried about that. We'll have Vela back when we're here. Check it out. I'll be here, hopefully with better lighting. I don't know what's going on. I'm at a friend's house and the lighting is rough, but I'll be here. So check it out. I love you guys. Hit the subscribe. We're on YouTube. I don't know if there's a subscribe button. But hit it wherever it is. I think it's at the bottom. And I'll be back. So as always, be a stud, not a scrub.